Alright, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing Gemini, the inner, outer, the glyph, and its evolution. So, this one might be pretty long. So, okay, the Gemini inside. You instantly react in no situations because you are keenly attuned to your environment and tend to be nervous or anxious. You give off sparks of energy, excitement, charm. Inside you, you feel like a wound up spring. People are fascinated by your enthusiasm while you are probably bored with them. In relationships, you are very giving, but you need freedom and time for yourself to be you. And that is a very important key to your relationship. You're not looking for somebody to hold you and snuggle you all the time. You want to get out and do things. You like to perform. You use your wit and intelligence to move to the center stage. You love to gossip, mostly because you find out such interesting things. You are generous with your time, friendships, and possession. One problem is that instead of looking at people's deeper qualities, you tend to judge them by their reactions to you. Are you coming off well? Are you mesmerizing them? People like to be around you because you're interesting and amusing. They admire you for your talent with your words and sense of humor. Although you're considered to live through logic and mental activity, friends trust your judgment about emotional matters. You also lend a helping hand when they need it, and only people close to you know that you can be discouraged and moody. When crossed, you can be sarcastic, which makes some people think you're arrogant. The Gemini symbol, the two parallel lines with the vertical parallel lines with the above, it's supposed to be like a little half circle down and below. And what this means is that the top the two half circles at the top, and the half circle at the bottom, the curved line, and the one down below represents the one below represents Earth, and the one above represents the heavens, and the two lines are connecting the two, so you get the reflection of as above, so below. So what this means is that you are on the lower plane and you are trying to connect to the higher plane. You see the earth and the heaven, and you see how they're connected, and you're learning how basically it all happens, how the above so connection happens. But you have to grow out of that lower plane mentality, and you gotta reach your spiritual potential in order to grasp that and bring yourself together. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to bring yourself together. And you'll see that. You can respect both sides, and kind of interplay between them. Okay, so now we're to the evolution. So a sleeping Gemini is aware only of your personality and not of your soul existence. You have the basic urges for the moment and change, and so you feel like you wander around kind of without a purpose. You crave that external stimulation, but you don't really know why. You don't really have a plan. You're not consciously connective to any kind of forces or toward a goal. Your instinctual mind is in charge, and you're just kind of blind, kind of going through the world. Sleeping Gemini blocks the free flow of information and communication between your mind and your environment. You're afraid of the unknown, the unexpected, the irrational. You demand information that is proven, empirical, and thus safe. If it is not scientifically measured, how can we know that it's true? Your fears are isolation, being humiliated, mental inadequacy, and insecurities about interaction. You're dogmatic because you're afraid of what you don't know, and you just feel this uncertainty, and you don't like to talk about how you feel. You are very uncomfortable with your feelings, and indeed, you do not know how you feel, and this is the source of your insecurity, frustrations, and inability to actually truly express yourself. Now, let's go to the beginning stages of an awakening Gemini. When Gemini becomes ready, you're eager to explore the dynamics of relationships. You are aware of others. You seek to understand the nature of interactions, and your mind seeks purpose, not simply scattered knowledge. Intelligence moves from instinctual to creative, and from subjective to objective. You are more open to listening to others' opinions and to share knowledge in a true give and take, listen and be heard fashion. At this level of consciousness, duality plays itself out in the nature of the twin relationship. Gemini's crisis often centers around misunderstandings in relationships, stemming from mixed intent and unclear communication. And with Gemini, it is always very important to communicate. And I'm pretty sure they'll let you know that, or they'll just kind of drop you. And Gemini is constantly figuring out how to harmonize yourself with others at different levels of evolution. You often move between two groups of friends. One reflects your instinctual desires and the urges of the lower self, and the other reflects the mental activity of the higher self. And you kind of try and balance these forces of dark and light, and you notice them in society. And then you also recognize them in yourself. And this happens until you're able to integrate all these aspects within yourself to understand what it is that you actually believe instead of what other people are telling you to believe. Okay, so for Gemini, for awakening Gemini is the development of the relationship within yourself. You need to shut up and internalize your dialogue and stop intellectualizing the way you feel. You need to use your ability to analyze complex data to decode and unravel your own mental agitation. Reorienting your attention internally may result in arguments with yourself, but that's cool, because that's what you need to do. Self-inquiry and self-interrogation are necessary if you're actually going to be able to be honest with yourself. And that's what you're kind of lacking from being asleep, is you're not really communicating with yourself. You're just out there doing. Awakening Gemini gives the highest priority to education. Although formal education is important to you, informal life experience is probably more important to you. You need to travel, interact, and explore. Your knowledge is acquired through direct experience, personal observation, and life itself. Book education does not necessarily suffice for Gemini. who is to be out in the world, seeing and participating in life's activities. Hands-on experience forms the foundation for your growth and individual process. So you don't necessarily learn by reading, you learn by doing. Okay, so now awakened Gemini. When you become awakened, you recognize your two halves, your personality and your soul. You have achieved your goal of knowing yourself and your soul, as into integrating the body and mind. The limited aspects of your personality no longer hold you back. Your personality is directed by the clarity and purpose of your soul. The two aspects of self work together in disciplined harmony. Awakened Gemini is totally conscious of the spiritual implications of your activities and directs your actions to serve the highest good of humanity. At this stage, your life and mind are directed to achieve synthesis and harmonization within yourself, with others, and in the world. Gemini teaches us to be tolerant and to freely explore life. You teach us that there are many levels of truth, individual, circumstantial, and universal, that coexist and in fact dance together at the same time. Gemini integrates everything through movement and love. Gemini teaches us that we are happy when we stop resisting what is and blow with the wind. And thinking about that just really reminds me of if you ever watched Dune, especially that TV show. I think it was in the movie, but there was this line in there, and he says that you have to learn to let fear pass through you like the wind. And I believe I said that correctly. And the main reason you do is because your whole life experience, the things that you do not do are because of fear, or some of the things that you even do are because of fear. You allow people to manipulate you because of fear. And this is what will leave you. And just blow with the wind. Just what I tell people is, if you look at your life, all the answers are there. So, and the universe will point the direction in which you go. And what most of us do is we just don't go the direction we're supposed to go, and we take all these freaking long roads to get back on track. Stay still, analyze your life, and let it show you where you need to go. Because I guarantee you that, there will be something there that's like, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to get done. And like I've told people before too, is I don't look at time, I look at solving situations. I see life as a lot of situations, and you just have to take this situation, get it done. You can maybe do more than one situation at once, two birds with one stone type of thing, but that's kind of like how you do it. And then it is through the recognition and acceptance of your own mortality and immortality that Gemini finds wholeness, and that has to do with the meaning behind the names of the two twins. One twin was mortal and the other one was immortal, and they found a way to immortalize themselves in heaven. I believe that's how the story goes. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Awakened Gemini teaches us to relax and enjoy life. We are perfect and imperfect at the same time. There's good and evil in the world, and there's good and evil inside us. There is a side that we allow to be a light, and there's a side that we keep secret and dark. Some things turn out to be the way you want them to, and some don't, and life still goes on, and that's the important lesson. No matter how you feel, depressed, happy, whatever, life is moving on with or without you, and it might as well be with you. Alright, so that's this portion of the Gemini. I will be doing another portion on Gemini. What is today's Sunday? So Thursday I'll have a poem. I should have a poem on Wednesday. And next week, not this coming weekend, but next Tuesday, I will be starting school again, and I'm going for a doctorate course. I get a break after classes, so they're, depending on my homework situation, will depend kind of like how often I come on here and do these things, because homework, the doctorate level, it's a little bit different, and I need a little bit more time. It's not as easy as the bachelor or the master, and I'm not saying that those were easy. I'm just, it's different level. There's more detail, everything like that. So depending on how that goes will depend on when I do my videos, but I should at least do 1, 2, or 3 a week, and sometimes 4. It depends on the class, really. I might be able to keep up with my normal pace. But other than that, and for anybody who wants to know, I'm in a program. I'm going after a doctorate of management for organizational leadership, because this is the last portion to what I consider to be my final step. It's a wonderful degree. Because I plan on starting my own publishing company, and I'm almost done with my novel. I'm going through it. I'm at chapter 41 right now. By the last day of February, my novel will be complete, and then it's just me going back through and editing it. So we'll just see how that goes. Probably one of my classes will go away. Probably within like 8 months, I'll probably have it all edited, because I'll have maybe a week break or something like that before my next class, and I'll be able to finish up any kind of the editing stages, and then I'm sending it out. So anyways, see you Thursday. Everyone, think positive. I hope everything goes well in your life, and have a good one.